Hey, how's it going, guys? So today I'm going to talk about eating clean. So last time I just ranted about people eating dirty, let's say. But I never really told you guys how I personally think you should be eating, like how to eat clean. So first off, one thing that's really important to understand is that foods that have been heavily processed are not ideal for a number of reasons. Thank you. So, for starters, one thing that you need to note is that, having a bit of difficulty. So one thing that you need to note is that there's a lot of nutrients in the food that we eat that we haven't even identified as of just yet. So, we talk about protein and we talk about iron and we talk about zinc and all these big keywords and whenever you're talking about any sort of nutrition. And of course they're important, but these are just the ones that we know. And sometimes it's hard to understand that there's just so much that we don't know yet. So there's a lot of nutrients in the foods that we eat that we just don't take into account just yet. So, for example, let's say you're eating like a Pop-Tart or something. At that point, you're eating very, very simply. You're eating something that's called calorie dense, as opposed to nutrient dense. Food with lots of energy, but little else. While you should be eating food that's nutrient dense, that has fewer calories but lots of nutrients, like for example, like most vegetables and fruits. So that's really important. You should eat wholesome food that's been tampered with minimally. So instead of like the frozen stuff that you can find at whatever store, it might be better to buy something that you can just prepare yourself. Not only is preparing food yourself much healthier, but it's really significantly cheaper as well. Just a moment. Oh, why are people such assholes? Let me merge, please. You suck. You seriously suck. Okay. Sorry. Anyway, so next. It's also really important to have a lot of variety. A lot of people that I know don't eat enough protein at all. And that's like a really common thing, I feel. Protein is probably the most probably something that people just don't get enough of in general. Like, I think that's one huge thing that people just don't get enough of. Like, I'll see people eating pasta all day, people eating pizza all day, but I think it's really important to get enough lean meat. Vegetarians, there's other ways to get your protein as well. For example, like beans, that's always good. Quinoa is a great way to get your protein if you're vegan or vegetarian or whatever. But for the majority of people which aren't vegetarian and vegan, chicken is really important. I think it's a staple in any really good diet, for meat eaters, obviously. Fish is really important, fantastic source of fatty acids and whatnot. So chicken, salmon, let's say. Don't eat tilapia. Tilapia is not ideal. There's studies that show that tilapia actually inflames the heart to the same degree that bacon does. So tilapia is not ideal. Cod is good. You know, that's simple stuff. So those are your basics. You need your protein, your core part of your meal. On top of that, you also need complex carbs. So a lot of the carbs that we eat are very simple, and they'll spike your blood sugar, and you don't want that. Those kind of carbs will make you feel nauseous, and they don't really contribute to your health in any meaningful way, and they actually detract from it quite a bit. So when I say complex carbs, I'm talking about things like oatmeal. Oatmeal in the morning, great idea. Fantastic fiber. It gives you good energy, and it doesn't taste half bad. Fruit. If you're trying to cut for bodybuilding, not too much fruit, but fruit is very important for you. Such as let's say bananas, hugely important. Eat lots. Well, don't eat lots of bananas, but like eat bananas regularly. Avocados are a great source of healthy fats. Um, let's see what else. Berries are very good. Berries are full of antioxidants. So yeah, you need a lot of diversity. So diverse fruits, that would be great. Vegetables, like you could just get a simple vegetable mix, frozen, like in Costco or something like that. It's nothing fancy. Like you could just like get some broccoli, cauliflower, carrots, that kind of deal. You can eat pretty well for pretty cheap. Like let's say like a standard meal would be something like chicken breast or chicken thigh. That's a little cheaper, a little more fat, but that's okay. So that would be your protein. Next to it, you have like mixed vegetables. You got your broccoli and your carrots and whatnot. Spinach too, that'd be great. And eggs. Well, not enough of that meal. It's actually that'd be pretty solid. Like chicken and like some vegetables on the side. That's pretty good. It's best to drink water mainly. Like that's another big thing. A lot of people drink sugared beverages and sweetened beverages, but I think drinking sweetened like anything is probably the easiest way to intake way more sugar than you intend to. So I personally only drink milk and water, and I think that's done me a good deal of like that's benefited me quite a lot. So it's kept me thinner and makes me feel better. I don't take in as much sugar, and sugar is toxic. It can be in higher levels. You don't want to take in too much sugar. So if you're going to take in any sugar, you want them to be complex. So you want your fruits, you want your oatmeal, stuff like that. That's honestly what I do. Whole milk is great. I personally drink whole milk because there's studies out there that show that bodybuilders that drink whole milk as opposed to skim milk do have a moderate increase in growth. My opinion on that is that since there's more fat in milk that's whole, obviously, you're able to develop more hormones, because hormones are derived from the fat we eat. So if you're trying to get big and you're not eating any fat, how's your testosterone going to go up? It's not. You got to eat some fat. Fat's not a bad thing. Unsaturated fat is ideal. Saturated fats that you get from processed foods, they'll clog your arteries. It's unfortunate. That's why you don't eat processed food. It kills you. It literally does. So make your own food. Prepare your it's not too complex. Just you want variety, you want balance. You could use MyFitnessPal. I think that's really useful. And get a scale for your kitchen so you can weigh out what you're making. And then you can track your calories that way. It's pretty simple. A lot of people will tell me that they think it's a little too difficult to eat clean, and I personally don't think it is at all. There's some ways that you can prepare your own food really easily. So here's let's look at a day that I go through. In the morning, I'll have eggs, like 3 or 4 eggs. I'll use olive oil a little bit to wet the pan. And that'll take like 5 minutes. And then I also prepare at the same time some oatmeal, and I'll dump some maybe half a cup of berries on the oatmeal to make it taste better. And that's meal 1. That's pretty solid. Meal 2, a friggin' lot of chicken thigh, chicken breast, and some vegetables, and a lot of water. I drink tons of water. It's important to stay hydrated. A lot of people eat too much because they don't drink enough water, and they mistake the urge to drink for the urge to eat. So it's important to drink water. Like some people like to drink a cup of water before every meal, just so that they don't eat too much, and that's a solid way to do things. Another important meal is that I personally have is I make cottage cheese smoothies. So they're actually really good. You don't really taste the cottage cheese too much. You just put a little whole milk, a little cottage cheese, whatever kind of fruit you want. I put in bananas and berries and some strawberries. It tastes great. I like it a lot. And then if you want a little extra protein, you can dump some protein powder in there. It tastes great. And honestly, that's for the most part what I'll be doing. Like, it's really simple. Like, you just eat whole food, and you'll feel a lot better. Your body will thank you. You'll operate better. You'll feel smarter even. Like, it wouldn't be surprising, because when you're eating like that, you're getting tons of nutrients that your body might have not otherwise been getting. So I personally think that if you diversify your diet, you eat a lot of whole, unprocessed foods, you prepare yourself, not only are you saving money, but you're saving your body. Like, you're gonna improve your quality of life. And if you maintain that habit throughout your older years, you'll really you'll last. Your body will last. You'll be healthy. You'll be able to move around more. Imagine try and future-proof yourself. You want to be able to hang around with your kids and your kids' kids, and you want to be able to move around. You don't want to be stuck too overweight to really move your body. So yeah, it's important to eat properly. And now you guys don't have an excuse, because it's really easy. All you got to do is get a crock pot or something. Just dump a bunch of chicken in there overnight, and then in 10 hours or less, even overnight, you'll have your meal already prepared for you. It's the simplest stuff ever. You don't even have to know anything about cooking. Literally, what I do to prepare my meals, aside from the eggs and the smoothies, anytime I need to cook something, I have a crock pot for that. I just literally put a little water in it, throw in whatever I think would taste good. Well, not whatever I think would taste good. I'll throw in the chicken, I'll put in some onions to add some flavor, maybe some hot sauce, spice it up a little bit. But at the end of the day, the core ingredients are still very wholesome, very, very good food. So I'm realizing this is running on a little bit. I apologize for that. I hope I've addressed most of the things that you guys were curious about. If there's anything else I can clarify, please hit me up in the comments. I will be improving the quality of these videos. It's just that I haven't really had a whole lot of time lately, so I just vlog while I drive back from work. But over the weekends, I do plan on making more quality YouTube videos, so please, if you have anything you'd like me to discuss, I'd be more than happy to. I like to become very well informed on whatever I do, so chances are, if you have a question about something, I might already know a good deal about it. So let me know. Anyway, I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one.